Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and I am back with Jose Carlos Gomes for our Week 15 picks. Jose and I are pretty excited right now because the 49ers are rolling, but we have question marks already after a quick quarterback change. And my God, if I have to see Josh Johnson, I might just throw in the towel. But we'll get to that. Actually, we're going to get to it right away. But before we get to our picks, can you please subscribe, and comment? We need more people watching this show. I don't like our viewership drop, guys. I want comments. I want views. I want you guys to tell us what you think. Even if you disagree or if you think the take is bad or wrong, you tell me. I want to hear the criticism. I want to hear if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right. No problem with that at all. That's what me and Jose and Gil and Tony, when he's on here, do. We just debate, go back and forth. We're not always going to agree. And that's what the show is all about. Now, let's start with week 15. Jose, you have an 8-game lead over myself and a 10-game lead over Jose. Anthony, who's not on this show, you have a 4-game lead over. I did gain a couple of games last week with some nice picks. Jose had his first rough week in a while, but we'll see. There's still lots of time left, including playoffs. Now let's get to the game that me and Jose are going to be sweating on Thursday for. Short week, San Francisco, our team, the 49ers, are going to Seattle to take on the Seabags, a team that has always given us problems no matter who's in the lineup, and we're not even sure we have a quarterback. Jose, who do you got?
Dude, I don't care if it's Josh Johnson, Brock Purdy with one arm. I don't care if it's Christian McCaffrey if they play Wildcat all the whole game. The 49ers are winning this game. There's no way that the 49ers, and if they win this game, they clinch the NFC West. So this is the clincher right here. I see Seattle struggling. Well, they're gonna get the running back Walker back this week, but dude, that defense is playing lights out. They just almost shut out Tom Brady and the Bucks. So I don't think Geno Smith's gonna do nothing. He got a beating in week 2, and he's gonna catch a beating in this week too. So I'm taking the 49ers.
Yes, me and Jose correctly predicted the demise of the GOAT last week. And Brock Purdy in one game looked better than Jimmy G has his entire career in San Francisco with 2 bombs in that game. And Christian McCaffrey just took over. I think we're going to see a lot of the same here. I will say, though, I am worried if we have to see Josh Johnson, who's been on like a million teams and been sitting on his couch. I
Just
want
hand
Brock
off the
Purdy in
ball.
there. I understand that, but I want Brock Purdy in that game. Um, Seattle has struggled recently. They lost to Sam Darnold, the Panthers at home. They should not have any success against this defense. If San Francisco doesn't turn it over, they win the game. I have San Francisco. Now, we do not have Gil's picks because he's not here today. And we will pass along his picks hopefully tomorrow when I post the show. But I will tell you what Anthony's picks are, and he has San Francisco in this game. Now we go to Saturday night football or Saturday afternoon football. Let's start with Barbosa's Colts that go to the Vikings. I'm not wasting too much time on this. I got the Vikings. Jose?
I like the Vikings too. I just think they're gonna bounce back from that loss against the Lions, and they need that win so they can clinch that second seed in the NFC Championship game. So I like Minnesota as well.
Anthony has the Vikings as he has all year, as he picked Kirk Cousins to win MVP. He's not going to win MVP, but the Vikings are having a lucky good season. There's a reason why the Lions were favored over them last week, and Jose made them his lock of the week, which was successful. Now we go to Baltimore, who has some guy named Anthony Brown starting at Cleveland to take on the Browns. Again, I'm not going to waste too much time on this. I got the Browns. Jose.
Um, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna take Baltimore in this one. I just think Baltimore is right now is playing for the division and for a high seeding in the playoffs. So I'm gonna take Baltimore in this one.
Anthony has the Browns. I can't go with a third string running back. However, I will say this: Cleveland's rush defense is bad, and so if they're able to run the ball, they can win this game.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
what
a
I'm thinking.
I have a big decision to make on my running back for my quarterfinal playoffs. I got to decide between Gus Edwards and Zavorian Knight, and it's causing me nightmares. But I'll have to make that decision before Saturday. Now we go to what I call a revenge game as the Miami Dolphins go to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Tua has struggled since playing the 49ers. The Bills have been just hanging on, playing good enough to win. But I got the Bills in this one. Jose?
I like Buffalo in this one too, but it's gonna be one of those hard fought games to the end. Miami's been playing shit lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I'm gonna take Buffalo, especially in the cold and stuff like that. And that defense been played well last week against a good Jets team, so I'm gonna take Buffalo.
Yeah, these games are never blowouts for the most part, although Buffalo did pound them a few times before Tua got good. The snow is a factor. It can be a factor both ways. Josh Allen has struggled in the snow against bad teams, and he's facing a Miami team that, if they're able to get a track meet going, can win it. But I'll take the Bills because Miami's struggling right now because Tua, his accuracy has gone out the window. He was 3 for 17 at one point last week against the Chargers. So I'll take the Bills to win this one at home. Now we go to the Eagles, who I am praying have Dallas Goedert back for my playoff run, are at Chicago to take on the Bears, who have an awful defense. Please, Dallas Goedert, please be healthy this week because I don't want to start Greg Dulcich and the freaking Denver Broncos tight end again with Mark Rippon starting. But I'll make this very quick. And Jose's laughing, and I love it because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I got the Eagles. Jose.
I got the Eagles too. I just think the Bears, if Justin Fields doesn't do anything special, they don't have the chance to win. So I got the Eagles as well.
The Eagles look like a team that's on a mission right now. I just don't see them blowing this game, although the weather could be a factor. We'll see. Anthony also has the Eagles. Dallas Goedert, please start. Now we go to the Falcons, who are such an unpredictable team, and they take on the Saints, who are even more unpredictable. This has playoff implications because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not taken care of business. There are 4 teams in that conference that can still win the division, including the Panthers, who control their own destiny, which means this is actually a big game, believe it or not, between 2 5-8 teams. Jose, who do you got?
This one was tough to decide, but I'm just gonna take New Orleans based on Atlanta starting the rookie quarterback this week. I think New Orleans, that defense will step up. I think they're getting a lot of more supposed to play this week, and they're getting a little bit more healthier with that bye week. Helped them last week. I don't know if there's still Andy Dalton still going to be the quarterback, but I think they'll squeak one out, and New Orleans will win this one.
So I did some research on this game on this guy named Ritter. Apparently, they've wanted to play this guy for a while. He was good in the preseason, and there are good reports on him. And we've seen backup quarterbacks win quite a few games this year, but New Orleans' defense at home is deadly. So I'm going to take New Orleans. I hate Andy Dalton, but they got to win this game at home, I would think, over the Falcons. They did sneak out a win against Atlanta early this year in Atlanta, so I'll take New Orleans at home. Anthony has the Falcons in this one. Now we go to the red-hot Detroit Lions, who have won 5 of 6. They go to take on the Jets, who have had their own success this year. Mike White is questionable. Joe Flacco is questionable. This makes this game very tough because if it's Zach Wilson in this game, I am easily taking Detroit. But because reports are Mike White's going to try to play with his busted up ribs, I will take the Jets in this one. However, this is a tough game with the Lions really hot. Both defenses playing well, but I'm going to take the Jets because of playoff implications. Jose.
I'm gonna take the Lions in this one. I think the Lions are also in the playoff race in the NFC. And the Jets right now with that quarterback situation, it's tough to decide. Even if White plays, I think that ribs injury, if he takes a hit, he's probably going to be out. And then you're going to have to depend on Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson hasn't done anything. And that Detroit offense has been putting a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points this year. So I'm going to take Detroit in this one.
Anthony Malfair, who's been a big Jets fan this year, has the Jets in this one. This is a tough game. It all depends on the quarterback and if he's healthy or not. Even with Joe Flacco, I think they would have a chance, but not with Zach Wilson. Now we go to a game that's actually important to Carolina as Pittsburgh goes to the Panthers. If Carolina wins out, they win the NFC South. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that is the case. Um, Pittsburgh, they're just hanging around trying to cause problems for teams. I don't think they're a playoff threat, but Mitchell Trubisky comes in and does a number. So very unpredictable teams. Jose, what do you got in this one?
This is one of those unpredictable games, man. I'm just gonna take Pittsburgh. I just think that their rush defense is good enough to stop Carolina right now. And you know what? No, I'm gonna take Carolina. I'll take Carolina at home. They need the game more important, so I'm just gonna take Carolina. And Seth.
I'm going to take the Panthers. I actually like what I've seen from the Panthers in the last few weeks. After they traded Christian McCaffrey, they're actually over 500. They found something with Foreman and Hubbard. Sam Darnold is not my favorite quarterback, but if he doesn't turn the football over, they can win games with him. They got a decent receiving corps. I did pick Carolina to be a surprise wild card, and now they can win the division. So therefore, I'll take Carolina in this one. And Anthony has the Steelers in this game. Now we go to a game that you would think on paper is an easy one, but not when you're facing this team. The Dallas Cowboys, who fell asleep last week and almost lost to the Houston Texans, and were very lucky to win that game. One of those trap games. They go to Jacksonville to take on a team that is improving every single week and is as dangerous an opponent to anyone that's in a playoff race as you can find. Also, a team that is going to impact me in the playoffs. Cy Jones, thank you very much for last week. Jose, who do you got in this one?
Dallas is gonna smoke them this week. I think last week they played down to the Houston Texans. I think this week they'll smarten up. They'll go back to the defensive dominance that they've played all year, and they'll get to Trevor Lawrence. And I see Dallas winning big on this one.
Dallas's defense shocked me last week. They didn't have a single sack in the game against Houston, which was very surprising. The Dallas Cowboys have a quarterback inconsistency problem. Dak Prescott can look like the best quarterback in the league or the worst quarterback in the league. Jacksonville's defense is really good at home, but I got to take Dallas in this one because they have to keep up with the Eagles. They have to make that Christmas Day game mean something, and so they got to win this game to keep pace with them. So I'll take Dallas, but boy, Jacksonville could win this game. If they get to Dallas's run defense, they can win this game. Anthony also has the Cowboys in this one. This is a game I'm going to spend about 1 minute on. Kansas City at Houston. I got the Chiefs.
Yeah, me too. Chiefs and the
The Chiefs found a way to blow a 27-0 lead against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. And if Wilson doesn't get a concussion, they could lose that game. But they're not losing to Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll. Anthony has Kansas City as well. Now to a game of horrific. There will be no one watching this game. The Arizona Cardinals with Colt McCoy go to take on the Denver Broncos with Mark Rippon. This might be the lowest scoring game in NFL history. I'm predicting 7-6. So if you like betting over-unders, take the under in this game because that's what it's going to be 7-6 this game. It's going to be such a joke. Jose, who do you have winning this game?
I'm just going to take Denver based on their defense. I think their defense is better than Arizona's, and at least play with some pride and get some victories for the team that they have and stuff like that. So I'm taking Denver at home.
I'm going to take Denver, just on, as Jose said, on their defense. Their defense managed to beat us 11-10 at home, so they should be able to beat Colt McCoy at home. Even with Mark Rippon at quarterback, Jerry Jeudy got it going last week. Somehow, Gil's sister benched him, and it cost her a playoff spot or cost her moving up in the standings last week. Had 30 points, didn't even start the guy. But I think Denver will win this game. But guys, if you're a betting man, take the under because it's going to be low scoring. Anthony also has the Broncos in this one. Now we go to a game with playoff implications. I tried to warn Jose last week about the Cardinals, and Kyler Murray got hurt, and New England took over. They go to Vegas to take on the Raiders, who are easily the most unpredictable team in the NFL. A tough game, unpredictable game. Jose, who do you got?
Yeah, like you say, yeah, that's an unpredictable game. Raiders disappointed last week.
Losing to Baker Mayfield,
They,
guys.
yeah, but they always play good at home. New England is good, man. They're good defensively, but the problem is if they get behind, they struggle. And that's the problem with New England. They're not a big down the field, but just based on their defense and they need this game more, I'm gonna take New England.
Yeah, New England has no running backs. They have wide receivers out. They found a way to win last week with a running back that you picked up in your fantasy team. Um, it seems like New England can just put anyone at running back. It seems like, so I'm not too concerned about that. It comes down to whether Mac Jones can beat Vegas's defense. Vegas has an awful pass defense, so I'll take New England. Anthony has the Raiders in this one. Now we go to another big game for me this week as the Tennessee Titans, who have been awful the last 2 weeks, just getting pounded back-to-back weeks. They go to the Chargers to take on Justin Herbert and the boys. Justin Herbert has finally got his receivers back. I'm expecting a huge game for him against Tennessee's awful defense. I'm also expecting a big game from Derrick Henry against Chargers' awful run defense. So this should be a fantasy like dream for me. I expect a high scoring game, but I expect the Chargers to win it based on just Herbert being better than Ryan Tannehill and Tennessee having no receivers. Jose.
Oh yeah, I like the Chargers in this one too. I think with you can see like last week with Herbert with all his weapons with Mike Williams there and Keenan Allen and everybody playing, you can see that it's a whole different offense.
Yeah.
And their defense is not too bad. Like they still have a lot of injuries, but they're keeping the teams in the games, man. Like they've been stopping some high scoring offenses like last week's Miami and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Mostert and Jeff Wilson, keep the mouth shut because since you opened your mouth, you've been terrible, and you're not helping Tua at all. So keep that in mind. Anthony has the Titans because he's a Titans fan, so he's not going against his team too often.
The problem is the Titans is Tannehill, man.
It is.
Tannehill last week he started throwing the balls picks and then
Yeah.
and then it's horrible. Then it goes down to the shits.
Yeah.
If they had a half decent quarterback, that team would have been much better than they are, man. Like
Yeah.
the record could have
Yeah.
been like #1 seed in the AFC. But
They're wasting Henry's years right now. They traded AJ Brown. AJ Brown came back to destroy them. They got some work to do. That the GM basically quit after AJ Brown destroyed him. So yeah, they got some decisions to make in Tennessee, but they'll probably make the playoffs because they're in an awful division. Now we go to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are on fire. They've won 5 in a row. They are now 9-4. They look like they'll win that division now that Baltimore has injuries, although Baltimore's also 9-4. They go to Tampa Bay to take on the very disappointing Tampa Bay Bucks. I said it earlier this year. Tom Brady has not played well this year, and he has not played well at all this year. Whether it be his distractions at home or just not clicking with his offense. And that was exposed last week, as me and Jose correctly predicted. However, I just got to think that after getting a beat down like that Tom Brady's going to come back better in this game. Cincinnati has some injuries to their wide receivers corps. So I'm gonna go for the upset here and take Tampa Bay. Tampa needs to win too to make the playoffs. Like they're in a dogfight now in their own division. So
Hmm. This is a tough game too, like you said. But I just think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're out of sync offensively. I think like
awful.
even last week there was a couple of like drives when Tom Brady threw to Mike Evans, and Mike Evans was running a route, and then Brady was thinking of something else,
Yep.
and even on the like on the sideline, it seemed like Brady always had to like hype him up and stuff like that, and like, come on guys, let's play. I think this team is not the same team as the past years before. Like they're not hungry, or they look out of sync.
Yep.
So for that, I'm gonna take Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's rolling right now. I think they have the defense to put pressure on Brady. The offensive line of Tampa Bay is horrible. So
Yeah.
if Hendricks and those guys are field day pressuring Tom Brady, and if you get pressure to Tom Brady, that's how you win the football games. And then the offensively with Chase, with Mixon and stuff like that, they should have a good game. So I'm gonna take Cincinnati.
Yeah, this is a gut feeling thing for me. Everything points to Cincinnati winning this game. It's just a gut feeling for me. Anthony also has Tampa Bay in this one. For the second successive week after a bye week, the New York Giants go to Washington to take on the Commanders in a game that has major playoff implications. Heineke versus Daniel Jones. Jose, who do you got in this one?
Can we pick a tie?
Yeah, it's
Nah,
just yeah.
no,
I mean,
it's just two even good, like even teams playing
yeah.
each other. But coming off a bye week, getting some rest, I'm gonna take Washington in this one. I think the Giants are done. I think the downfall is already starting. You stop Barkley, you stop them.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty simple. Like last week, like, it was horrible against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I see it continuing, and so I'm gonna take the Commanders in this one.
Washington has been great since Heineke's taken over a quarterback. I've got the Commanders in this one. Anthony has the G-men in this game. And now we go to the ugliest Monday nighter I've seen in a long time, although now it might be a little more interesting as Baker Mayfield, the underdog story of the NFL, who came off the street to win a game somehow against the Raiders, goes to Green Bay to take on the Packers in the cold, frozen Lambeau Field. Um, you would think this be an easy game, but the Packers have lost a lot of games to bad teams at home this year, and the Rams seem to have renewed life after winning with Baker Mayfield, even though they got no players left. Tougher game than it might look on paper. Jose, who do you got?
I'm gonna take Green Bay in this one. The Rams, I know they won last week, but dude, like they're not playing for anything. They're not making the playoffs. They're just basically playing. Baker Mayfield's playing for his job, trying to see if he can get a contract for next year
Yeah.
or somewhere, to play somewhere. So, but Green Bay still in the hopes of making the last playoff spot. They're playing at home. They're coming off a bye week. I think they should be rested, and I think they'll take the game against the Rams.
Yeah, I have the Packers as well. I'm a fan of Baker. I actually hope he makes it in the league. I hope he gets a job, and I think he's a big underdog story, especially where the way he started with the Browns. This is a great offense for him to be in with McVay. Um, but I'm going to take the Packers. The Packers, Rodgers is still trying. They still have two great running backs, and my God, I need Christian Watson to have a big week, and I think he will against the Rams. And so I'll take the Packers in this one. Um, Anthony has the Rams. So lots of opposite picks here to separate, possibly have a comeback or separation of at the top. But those are our picks. Again, every week in the NFL is difficult. Um, I gave you guys a lock there. Jose, do you have a lock? My lock is the Arizona game to go under. You got a lock, Jose?
Um, from what I see, mm, not really, man.
Yeah. See, it's
I,
tough.
it's tough, man. It's tough. Maybe if I was say anything, maybe I don't know what the spread on Green Bay is, but if I was gonna do anything, I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah. I also like the Detroit game to go under with the Jets, but I'll give you guys maybe another lock of the week show later on. But that's our picks for this week. We will have what's bothering us coming up next. There is a lot to talk about, and Jose and I are going to be going at it. And we're hoping to have Tony Barbosa on the show to join us as well. But until then, I'm the Mouth of North Andrew Reese. That's Jose Carlos Gomes, and that is our Week 15 picks. We will see you on the next Reese Report.